Hello and welcome to our Eurotech wrap-up for the week of November 2nd to 8th. In this episode, we'll look at the biggest stories shaping Europe's technology scene, from a potential pause on the EU's landmark AI law, to a semiconductor deal with China, to Germany's push for green energy, plus new moves in fintech and quantum computing. It's been a week packed with developments. Let's dive right in.
Our first story takes us to Brussels. The European Commission is reportedly considering delaying parts of its groundbreaking AI Act, the first comprehensive law designed to regulate artificial intelligence. The act, which officially came into force last year, was meant to impose strict new rules on companies using high-risk AI systems. But since then, the EU has faced strong lobbying from both global tech giants and foreign governments, including the United States. Critics argue that the act could slow down innovation and make Europe a tougher place to launch AI startups. One proposal under discussion is a one-year grace period for companies already operating high-risk AI systems. Another is to postpone fines for violations until 2027, giving developers more time to adapt. Regulators are also exploring ways to make compliance more flexible, especially for generative AI tools like chatbots or image creators.
This debate captures Europe's ongoing tension between protecting the public and staying competitive. The AI Act was Europe's bid to lead on ethical technology, to make AI safe, transparent, and accountable. But slowing it down could signal a shift from move fast and regulate to a more balanced approach. For AI companies, the outcome will shape where and how they operate. If rules ease, expect a surge of AI startups in Europe. If not, some may pivot elsewhere. Either way, this moment is critical. Europe is trying to show it can lead the world in responsible innovation without falling behind the innovation race.
Next, to semiconductors, the lifeblood of modern technology. This week, the EU and China struck a deal to restore the supply of chips from Nexperia, a Dutch-headquartered manufacturer owned by a Chinese parent company.
The agreement ends months of tension that had disrupted Europe's automotive sector. Nexperia, which supplies crucial chips used in car components, was caught in a geopolitical standoff between the Netherlands and China over export controls. Under the new deal, China has agreed to lift certain export restrictions for Nexperia, as long as the chips are for civilian use. This means factories across Europe can once again receive components from Nexperia's Chinese facilities, easing pressure on supply chains that were already under strain.
This is a big win for Europe's industrial stability. The automotive industry depends on steady chip flows, and even small disruptions can halt production lines. The deal also reflects Europe's broader strategy, balancing national security with economic necessity. While Europe pushes to build its own chip industry under the EU Chips Act, that's a long-term effort. For now, pragmatic diplomacy keeps the wheels turning. The message is clear. Europe wants to safeguard its tech independence, but it also knows that in a globalized world, cooperation remains essential.
Let's switch to fintech and to Germany, where Sweden's Klarna is shaking up payments again.
Klarna, best known for buy now, pay later services, just launched a new feature called Variable Recurring Payments, or VRPS, in partnership with Germany's largest banking network, the Sparkassen Group. Here's how it works. Instead of traditional direct debits or credit cards, customers can link their bank accounts to Klarna to authorize ongoing flexible payments. Think utility bills, subscriptions, or memberships. The system uses open banking technology to pull funds directly and instantly, without intermediaries like Visa or MasterCard. Unlike old-style direct debits, VRPS can handle variable amounts, settle in real time, and give users better control. They can cancel or cap payments anytime. Klarna calls it a modern, account-based alternative that combines convenience with transparency.
This move could be a game changer. Klarna is moving beyond installment loans and directly challenging traditional payment networks. If users embrace this, it could reduce the dominance of credit cards and redefine how Europeans pay recurring bills. It also underscores how far ahead Europe is in open banking innovation. While other regions are still experimenting, European fintechs are already scaling real-world solutions. Klarna's Germany rollout is both a test and a statement. The future of payments might not be on plastic, but directly between your bank and the service you use.
Now to the UK, where the government is betting big on quantum technology, the next frontier of computing.
At this week's National Quantum Technologies Showcase in London, the UK officially declared the start of what it's calling the Quantum Decade. The plan includes new R&D funding, partnerships with international universities, and the creation of a dedicated quantum center for national security. 14 new projects have been selected for initial funding, exploring areas like quantum gravity sensors that can detect underground structures, ultra-precise clocks, and next-generation navigation systems that could operate without GPS. The government estimates quantum technology could add £11 billion to GDP and create over 100,000 jobs by 2045. The UK is also forging global collaborations with Japan, Canada, Singapore, and top US institutions like Stanford and Caltech to accelerate research and commercialization.
This announcement shows how Europe is positioning itself for the next tech revolution. Quantum computing and sensing promise to transform everything from cybersecurity to healthcare. But the technology is still early and expensive. The UK's Quantum Decade is about turning scientific expertise into commercial power. Public funding is critical. It signals long-term commitment and encourages private investors to follow. As the US and China race ahead, Britain wants to make sure it's not just participating, but leading in at least a few quantum fields.
And finally, to green tech, Germany is set to build Europe's largest battery storage system, marking a huge leap for the continent's renewable energy ambitions.
The project, called the GigaBattery, will be built in Jenswalde in eastern Germany by energy firm LEAG in partnership with US-based Fluence. It will provide 1 gigawatt of power with 4 gigawatt-hours of storage, enough to stabilize the grid for millions of homes. The site is a former coal region, now being transformed into a renewable energy hub. LEAG plans to deploy up to 14 gigawatts of solar and wind capacity nearby by 2030. The GigaBattery will store excess energy from those sources and release it when needed, bridging the gap between intermittent generation and constant demand. Construction is expected to begin next year, with completion around 2028.
This project is more than a piece of infrastructure. It's a symbol of Europe's energy transition. Large-scale battery storage is the missing link in renewable power systems, and Germany is showing what the future grid might look like. It's also a signal to investors. Green tech isn't just about solar panels and wind turbines anymore. Storage, grid software, and energy management systems are the next big frontier. Turning a coal site into a clean energy hub sends a powerful message that Europe's future can be both sustainable and industrially strong.
So, what ties all these stories together?
We're seeing Europe walk a tightrope between regulating technology and enabling it, between independence and global cooperation, between environmental goals and industrial growth.
3 big themes stand out. First, balance. The EU's AI Act debate shows how Europe is trying to find the sweet spot between innovation and protection. Second, strategic independence. From chips to clean energy, Europe is reducing reliance on others while still keeping key partnerships alive. And third, government as catalyst. Public investment in quantum, energy, and fintech is creating the foundation for the next wave of private innovation.
Europe's tech landscape is changing fast, and every week brings new examples of how policy, innovation, and business are converging to shape the continent's digital future. Thanks for listening to this week's Euro Tech Wrap-Up. If you enjoyed the episode, please follow, share, and join us next week for more insights from across Europe's innovation scene. Until then, stay curious and keep building the future. This podcast was produced by Asif Rajani and brought to you by Eurotech.vc, empowering Europe to lead the global tech race.